Good morning, everyone. Almost, oh wow, it's 5 till noon. I slept in a bit today, so it's not quite morning yet, almost, but still feels like morning to me. I just had my coffee, so I hope this finds everybody doing beautifully well. Excuse this disturbance for a bit. I'm going to move this back just a little bit because my knee is hitting it. And as my knee hits it, it will jiggle it. I've been messing around with the sound. This case that I have on my phone, which is necessary for it, is blocking the microphone, I think. So I'm going to try very hard to make sure my volume in my own natural voice is up so that there isn't any difficulty hearing it. I'll also play with it when I get ready to upload it, see if there's a way I can increase the volume. So I do apologize for the low volume in the past. I am doing my best to try to resolve it. All right, this morning, it was yesterday that this became something that was in my heart, and I decided that I was going to share with you today about it. All right, there's been in my life, in my circumstance anyway, this really incredible feeling of feelings that are in opposition to each other. And I'm looking at notes too, so just so you know, because you know me, if you watch, I write everything down because I prefer to keep my brain as clear of fodder as I can, and if I write it down, I can forget about it and just focus on spirit. It seems to work better, so notes are part of the deal. It's like a feeling of being propelled and halted all at the same time. Feeling tremendous energy and inspiration. I mean tremendous. And depletion and exhaustion in the same note. This has been occurring and occurring and occurring for me, and it's been very confusing. Not even really aware that it was occurring, but I could feel the pressure of it, the tension of it, and wasn't really sure what was happening. And it feels like it's beautiful and benevolent, and that I'm in the spirit and I'm moving forward as spirit is leading, but there's this, you know, I spoke about disorientation before, and that's part of it, but this is something that's very physical. It's on a very physical level. You really feel the push and pull of this place that you're in. So I said the word tension for a reason, because as soon as I felt that in myself, and I felt this tension, and I was in, meditation, Spirit said to me, tension. Yes, tension. Tension between these two things where you're feeling propelled and halted at the same time, exhilarated and exhausted, pushed and pulled. There's a tension, and you're somewhere in the middle of that place. And immediately the word intention came to my mind, and this is something that I've been very focused on, is everything that I'm doing in spirit, the intention in it. Not so much what I'm doing, but actually focus on being and my intentions behind that being, and allowing the Holy Spirit to be the doer. For it is my Father who does these works within me, not myself. I'm the beer. Holy Spirit, submitting to that, being the doer, and that's my intention. And then I realized this place that I'm in, that I'm feeling, and if this resonates with you, it's for you as well, because it was very enlightening to me. Intention. What are your intentions? And when I asked that question, immediately the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, intention. Do you feel like you're in tension in this place? It's a duad. It's a duality place. And it is where time, outside of time, the new, the baby that's coming, everything that's on the horizon, this ascension, this frequency that's being offered, time outside of time, coming into the time that has been created and existed thus far, the birth of this new thing. It's a tension. And the Holy Spirit spoke very clearly to me. Are you feeling in tension? Yes, 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 very much so. I feel this sense of incredible on point, like I know I'm exactly where the Holy Spirit would have me be, but at the same time I'm feeling depleted and exhausted and halted, almost stopped. So immediately the Holy Spirit said just to breathe, keep doing what you're doing, because it is in your intention that you are. So if you're feeling like you're in this place where you're being propelled and halted all at the same time, exhilarated and exhausted, it is a good thing. It doesn't feel normal. It's not like anything we've experienced before, but it's good. And it does mean that the intention that you have in your heart as you're seeking the truth, the height, the oneness, the spirit in this process that we're in, if that is your intention and you're actually feeling like you are in this tension, then rest in that and continue doing what you're doing, because you're exactly where you should be. Now, tension is also an opposition. Tension pulls. So if you're pushing and it pulls, and you're pulling and it pushes, this is an opposition. So if you're in opposition, if you're in this tension, then your intentions are coming to pass. And like I spoke of before, it's in this planlessness. And I have just recently saw in incredible clarity how plans that I had, which they served the moment. They were exactly where I should have been. They brought me to the place where I am, and it's perfect and beautiful. I'm grateful for them. But I can see in perfect hindsight that these plans did in fact do what the Holy Spirit says that plans do at this moment. They get in the way of the new. They will only cause it to take longer to arrive. So this planless intention, Holy Spirit led, I am Spirit be, is exactly it. So I just wanted to share that with you this morning, because if you're feeling this, then you're right where you're supposed to be. And there's always the duality that is offered up to, suggest that this uncomfortable, unknown feeling is not good, and that you need to do something to fix it. Not anymore. There's no fixing anymore. There's only being. And it says at the end of my notes, this is a state of being in this new being birthed. That's what it's all about, is being right in the middle of that tension, that opposition, that sense of being propelled and halted all at the same time. Exhilaration and exhaustion. To just ride it like the wave of the ocean that you are. You are that individuated wave on the top of the oneness, the allness, the source, which is the ocean. And you have full connection to everything in it. You are fully connected, never separated from it. You have everything at your disposal. And I know that this feeling is not, it's not traditional. It's not what we're used to. And, you remember, if you are a mom, or if you're a new daddy, you could relate to this too if you ever experienced that. As soon as that new thing is birthed into your life, and of course this is a child I'm speaking of as an example, but as soon as the new is born, everything feels alien. Nothing feels normal anymore. The loss of sleep, the crying in the night, the diapers, the bottles, your whole entire life no longer feels anything like it did before. And it is a bewildering moment. There's something new being birthed, and we're in that bewildering moment. It is right here. I mean, it is just right here. Find your joy and exercise that joy. There is nothing for you to do, and I know it feels that way. We all have a heart to want to help. We want our brothers and sisters to have what it is they need as we receive what we need. And that's a beautiful thing to have in your heart. But at this point, chase your joy. Do what brings you to that state of heightened frequency with the intention that I just spoke of. Keep that intention, that pure Holy Spirit driven intention. Stay in that tension, but seek your joy. Pursue what brings you to that heightened frequency of, the freeness, that joy that just bubbles forth out of you on its own inertia. And in those spaces, what you're going to find as you're yielding to the Holy Spirit and being, while the Holy Spirit is being the doer, you're going to find perfect opportunities that pop up where an individual will need your encouragement, will need your smile, there'll be something that arises that you have the ability to give them. And when you give it to that person in that circumstance, and you're already in that heightened level of joy because you've placed yourself in a place where you're pursuing what gives your heart joy in this ascension that we're involved in, you will be in the frequency that as you lend that out to your brother and sister, it is merely, not merely, because there's no merely, this is all magnanimous and beautiful, but it is a stage, an area of where you're going to be exercising at this with this one, but it doesn't just affect this one. Because remember the ocean under the wave, every time you do this, that heightened frequency that you're in and extending it to that beloved one before you without looking for it, without seeking it, it just comes because you're seeking your joy, and there it is, and you're in this heightened place already in joy, and then you see the opportunity. When you do it in that frequency, in that space, in that intention, it affects the entire collective. Every single connected individual, which is all of us, the one. And it raises us up and raises us up. You know, I just thought of a little image. I don't know if you've seen the cartoon Moana, the Disney movie, where she gets led to the top of the mountain by her father because she's going to be the new leader. And this stack of rocks, it's on top. It's the highest mountain on the island, and it is their belief that you raise the level of the island as you take your leadership role, and you do what's best for your people, and you take a rock and symbolically place it on the top, and the rock's only about that big at the top of this huge mountain. And you know, when I first saw it, I thought, wow, that's not a significant raise. But guess what? It is a raise. It does raise that island up another few inches, and it seems insignificant, just a couple of little inches, but in the bigger picture, it's connected to the rock below it, which is connected to the rock below it, which is connected to the mountain, which is connected to the island, which is connected to the ocean. It's connected to everything. Can you see how magnanimously huge those little inches that you give in your, you know, gorgeous state of joy that you're in as the light being that you are? It's absolutely amazing, and it seems too simple. It seems like it's not possible because it just seems too simple. Simple things are very big. They're not easy. They're not plain. They're not without impact. They're just simple. So hopefully this encourages you, finds you in a good place, and lifts you as that stone on the island just a little bit. Because I'm telling you right now, I need you. You raise, I raise. We all raise. This is how this occurs, and we are such powerful beings in this game. We really, really are. And it is in this simple intention where we reside, where this beautiful, miraculous new is coming forth. So stay with it. Stay in love. Stay in peace and joy, and yield and be the beer. Let the Holy Spirit do. And I'm telling you, when you get into that space, you'll know it, and everything unfolds with such beauty that it's inexplicable, but it doesn't have to be explained because you're there and you'll see it and you'll know it. Have a beautiful day, my beloved family. I'm grateful for you. I feel your intense, beautiful love and energy every day. And as I feel it come to me as the beautiful gift that it is, I pull it in, pack it down, ask the Holy Spirit to expand it and throw it right back out. So have a wonderful day, and when the Spirit moves again, I will come again. Talk to you very soon. I love you. Namaste.